723, Big Ticket Morning Show on V103, the ATL's #1 for hip-hop, R&B, and throwbacks. Happy Hump Day, August 16th. Queen Shamia Morton.
Hey, best friend.
Comedian Miss Pat Pat.
Good morning.
Jizzle.
What it do, baby?
Do people run up on you and still say young?
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah, but it's all good, though.
Forever young.
I look like it.
Yeah, come on.
Where
now.
did the young go?
Why did I drive it?
Yeah.
The money got grown, baby.
Money done growed up.
The money matured.
You did it real quietly, too. It wasn't no statement about it. It was just gone.
Yeah, and I woke up one day, I was like, hey, man.
I'm just Jeezy?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Brand new book, Adversity for Sale.
Everywhere books are sold. I did the audio version, by the way, so when you listen to the book on Audible's Amazon Books, you will hear my voice.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
Who is this book for, and what do you want them to get from it?
I think this book is for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Anybody out there going through adversity or trying to, make it to the next level in life. That's what was so dope about it. I think, when you take somebody like myself and I'm giving myself the permission to evolve and grow, a lot of us get in this game and become successful or not. and we don't allow ourselves to grow, so we get caught up in what's going on. And I just think as somebody that's been a fixture in the community and the culture, it's almost like, look, bro, if I can do it, you can do it. It's almost like when I came in the game with rap, it was just like you had to know how many people came in the game after me from the streets to become successful in music, when it was like, man, I was just standing on the block with Jeezy. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just leading by example, and the reason why I call it Adversity for Sale is because when people see you and see the finished product, not the young Jeezy, but the Jeezy, you know what I'm saying? They feel like it's just, 2 steps and a hop and they can get there. And it's just like I've lost way more times than I ever won. You know what I'm saying? So I'm letting you know, and the key part to it is the subtitle, You Gotta Believe.
Yes, I love it. I mean, chapter 1, you talk about how you grew up in rough areas and how difficult it was, how you would gravitate towards the bad kids.
Yeah, like Tigger.
Right. And you talked about how, a lot of times people subscribe to the notion of, once you reach a certain level of success, you have to drop some of those bad kids off. You got to let them go. Yeah. Do you subscribe to that notion? Do you still have those bad kids in your crew? Or have you just kind of...
Life started lifing. We started paying for lawyers and... lawsuits and, it just life started lifing. Yeah. And like anything else, the layers peel off. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you don't want it to be that way, but that's the way life happens, because life telling you if you don't start peeling off some of these layers, you won't survive. Right? And how they tell you on the plane, if the plane going down, you got to put your... you got to put your face mask on first. Yeah. The plane was going down. You feel me? So I had to put my face mask on.
So this book is about the evolution of Jeezy in a way. And during that evolution, as you said, sometimes people get lost in that evolution. Have you ever felt a way about it? Like you feel, because I know some people rightfully or wrongfully so, or, believe that you left them behind.
Right. I can't say that. I mean, it was always my vision. My journey, and you allow people to walk with you. You know what I'm saying? You allow people to experience life with you, right? And when you start walking in your path and you start headed the direction that your heart and your soul and your mind telling you to go, everybody don't want to go that direction.
True.
You feel what I'm saying? Some people like, this is my last stop, I'm good, bro. Like you eating clean now. We used to eat Waffle House. I can't. You know what I'm saying? You listening to this type of music, or you hanging with these type of people.
You don't eat Waffle House?
No, I don't eat Waffle House no more.
You vegan?
Nah.
Thank God, because usually people get rich, they get vegan. It's hard to be friends with vegans.
I don't have nothing against Waffle House, but I just say moving like that, they have to,
Okay.
Yeah.
What if you had to put? What was the hardest thing for you to leave behind?
My identity. Several times, like even, I was good in the street, Tig. You know that. You know what I'm saying? I was pulling up in them things. I had all the respect I needed. You know what I'm saying? So for me to try to enter the music, I almost was taking a risk, because the last thing you want to do is be a street guy that's a whack rapper. then ain't none of the girls gonna like you. You feel what I'm saying? Ain't nobody, so for me, and I would say that, and then also, and I talk about it a lot in the book, that was one step. And then the next step was allowing myself to become myself. You got to really think about it, bro. Like, Tupac was amazing. Right. At a young age. Imagine if he was still here now, what he would be as a man. You know what I'm saying? I happened to make it through that era. And experience growth, right? And I'm not trying to push that on nobody else, but I'm just saying, like, when you in the rap game, it's no different than the streets now, man. These guys dying at such a young age and going to jail at such a young age, they might not ever get the opportunity again. I mean, especially if they're getting locked up and everything's getting taken away, and then especially like losing your life. You know what I mean? So we don't all get to experience that. Like last night, sitting down talking to Tip, just reminiscing. Like we've been through some things, man. You know what I'm saying? We keep each other strong, but you know, it's one thing to be, you know, multi-platinum and an entrepreneur, but then you got to shed some stuff as a man. That's when it get real. Because people might not look at you the same. You know what I'm saying? So you went from the streets to rap. Then you went from rap to being a man. But people look at Jeezy the rapper. That's cool. But what about Jeezy Jenkins the man? You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That's where it get tricky.
Well,
you feel me?
I read in your book where you were you grew up with a dad that was in the Marines, so you moved around quite a bit.
I never heard. I never heard of that.
I know.
You was a Marine baby.
Yes, a Marine baby. Like, what's one of the best places you lived?
I mean, I lived in Hawaii. I lived in Japan. You know what I'm saying? That's where I got my palate from. So imagine when your parents divorce, ain't no more sushi. You like, damn.
All right.
So, but you know what's crazy? You know, my dad was a great man, still is. You know, because he showed me and my sister a different life. But the reality of it was, when I got back to the hood, when my parents divorced, I knew there was beaches. I knew there was palm trees. So I'm trying to explain that to people in the hood, and they're like, man, what are you talking about?
He never left the block.
So,
I feel like that makes, you know, you a better lyricist like you are, like a great rapper. You have such culture. So I hear that in your music and even in your book, you know?
Yeah, and the whole thing was getting back to that. So my pursuit to that, what led me to the streets, was that I knew something else was out there, and I knew I couldn't work a factory job like everybody in the town. So now I'm trying to figure out ways to get back to that, and bam, here I am.
Wow.
That's how I felt when I saw the map for the first time. I was like, I had no daddy, Jesus. So I was like, these places can't exist, but I'm going to find them. Right. So after I became a drug dealer, I started
looking at the map.
I saw a map and
just opened up a map.
Jeezy's our guest this morning on the Big Ticket Morning Show. The brand new book, Adversity for Sale, out now. You list 4 things you need to be successful. Tell them what they are.
Oh, man, where's it at in the book?
I'm going to say it for him.
Yeah, you say it for me.
A clear vision.
Yep.
Crystal clear vision.
A crystal clear. A plan to reach your goals, the discipline to execute the plan, and the willingness to make the necessary sacrifices along the way. I love it.
And the last part is the biggest part, but you got to believe.
Yes.
You got to believe you can do that.
This book is so motivating and it's so inspiring, honestly. I would advise everybody to go out there and get it.
Yeah, it was wrote with no malice. It was just wrote from love, you know what I'm saying? And people like, why now? Why you write a book now? It's like I'm at a place in my life where I want to continue to pour into the culture. And as I'm doing these, like I've done with my music, and as I'm doing these book signings, and you see brothers coming in, sisters coming in, and they really like, you know, they're buying books for their kids and for their brother, and you know, my brother's locked up. I want him to read this, so when he get home, he can have a different perspective. So for me, it's just like, you know, the music is one thing, but you know, putting your life in a book as a whole.
7:30 with the Big Ticket Morning Show. Jeezy's here. We talking music. We talking Funk Fest this weekend.
Let's get it.
I mean, it's going down. I wouldn't go too far. Jeezy's the guest on the Big Ticket Morning Show, and we're back with more right after this on V103. Big Ticket Morning Show on V103, the ATL's #1 for hip hop, R&B, and throwbacks. Jeezy.
What up, though?
Jizzle. Jeezy Jenkins, new book for sale. Let me do my commercial. Adversity for sale.
Come on.
You gotta believe.
Epic voice. Epic tunes. I love it.
Epic tunes happening this weekend. Funk Fest.
Yes.
You've been performing a lot lately.
Yeah. I mean, you know, for me, I like to stay in the mix. I don't ever want to be still. You know what I'm saying? I do a lot of business. I do a lot of entrepreneurship, but I love music. I love to see people and to get out in the streets and feel it, like the energy.
You've been doing a lot with the 50th anniversary of hip hop.
Yeah.
Take a second and reflect on Atlanta's place in that.
Wow, that's a big one, man. I think our contribution. You know what's even crazier? Like when a revolution starts, it's always somebody you wouldn't expect. And when that scene went down at the Source Awards, and Dre said the South got something to say,
I was there.
Yes.
He shifted everything. So we gotta always, protect Dre at all costs, because he was the one that shifted it.
Come
you
on.
See what I'm saying? He spoke, and he's not even no gangster. He's not. You feel what I'm saying? He shifted it.
The most gangsterest thing ever heard from someone not a gangster.
Yeah, and by the way, in a moment that there was a lot of tension. You feel what I'm saying? You on the West Coast.
Yeah.
everything's going on, you know.
That was the same Snoop at the end. I remember.
That's what I'm saying.
Y'all ain't got love for Snoop Dogg. That source was crazy.
He stood up.
Yeah.
He stood up. So, you know.
Who would you say inspired you as a rapper? Like, who's one of your favorite rappers of all time?
I only have one. Tupac Shakur.
Wow.
Yeah. Tupac was like my therapist.
Well, I gotta say, Soul Survivor touched me because I'm from the street. You know, I ain't got no mom and daddy like them. Somebody that threw me on the corner.
You do have a mother and a dad.
Oh, I ain't got no.
Y'all kind of had to have one to get here.
They might not have been parents in the house, but you do have a mother and a father.
You didn't.
I don't know who made me Jesus, but Soul Survivor.
Don't ask Jeezy that. Ask Jesus that.
You did a wonderful job about that. Whoever made you.
Well, I don't know who made me.
Whoever these people are.
That song, Soul Survivor, for being from the street, from being a crack dealer, check fortune, everything I did to hustle. That was, I rocked that all while I breastfed.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
So disgusting.
I can't breastfeed now. They real.
Let me just say something. You've talked about panty liner. You breastfeed. You
stay over there and be
I don't
sadistic.
want to hear about that.
Well, I don't care. I'm talking to Jesus.
And yeah, she said she had no questions for him.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep a question.
Anyway, well, speaking of breastfeeding, you have such a beautiful daughter. Oh my gosh, your baby girl is your twin. I mean, you and your wife, such a beautiful family. I always look at the timeline, and when they pop up, I'm like, this is giving black magic. Like just the family, the goals. You guys want to have another baby?
You're focusing on the book right now.
Like in between the book, would that be an insert?
Focusing on adversity for sale. Man.
Okay. Now, in the Tia earlier, we talked about your sister and how amazing your relationship is and the bond that you have with her.
Yeah.
I saw how she divorced her husband after realizing he had stolen from you.
Yeah.
Is she remarried? Has she found love again?
Yeah. She's dope. She remarried. She found the one.
And that had to be
my inspiration.
I was going to say, it had to be so good. Such a good feeling. Because a lot of times with family, things can get crazy with money. You know, get more money, more problems at times. But the fact that she stood up for you and was solid, 10 toes down, it's just so, I just want to give her love.
Yeah, no, she got to get her flowers. She taught me a lot about loyalty.
Yes.
I got to say this. So listen to that interview. You told your sister, you said, I'm going to go park him. And I was like, I ain't never heard park. Can you give me a few more words to use on my cuss? Instead of cuss words, Jesus. Because I be like,
Park him.
Been parked.
I love it. Put him in park.
He ain't moving.
What's the other one?
He's not moving.
He's not moving. I'm going to call my nephew just stole my child just stole my $1,600. I'm going to his school today. I'm going to tell him I'm going to park him if he do it again.
You got to put him in reverse.
Put him in reverse.
Thank you, Jesus, for helping me with my street knowledge.
So,
I love it.
That's the least I can do.
Jeezy, brand new book, Adversity for Sale, You Gotta Believe, out now. What has been the hardest part of being Jeezy from start to finish?
I can't really say. I don't think I experienced it yet.
Really?
No, I don't think so. You know, I think that I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm still healing. You know, even writing the book, it was really therapeutic. I ain't gonna lie, because there was a lot of stuff that I thought that I dealt with, but not really.
So what are you healing from?
I mean, man, you ain't read the book.
I'm trying to sell books, bro.
So much trauma, man. So much trauma not having the wording for it. Like, I mean, you know, my first, 3 albums and 2 mixtapes, I was probably the most depressed I've ever been in my life, and I didn't even know what depression was. You know what I'm saying? Anxiety, all these things I didn't have the words for. That as I started to learn and peel back the layers, I'm like, oh, this is what's going on. Because, most part, you're thinking like something's wrong with you, right? You don't know that you got all this trauma from your childhood,
right,
and you dealing with it. And even writing the book, it was just like, oh, that's why I react like that to that. You just start to understand that. And, even now, you still got to do the work.
Yeah.
You still got to do the work, baby. Because there's people out there, that, and hopefully, that message gets across, and that's what the adversity is about. Because a lot of people run into those roadblocks and they just give up, like literally. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to leave this earth, you know, and that's not it. Yeah.
Did that revelation happen as you were writing the book, or you knew before?
No, I was doing the work before the book.
Okay.
Yeah, I was starting. That's how I knew to write the book. Because now I got something to share.
Gotcha.
I mean, when I was in the streets and I was learning that revelation, I had to share that in the music. So now I'm learning more, and I'm like, yo, you know what? I gotta speak on this in book form. Yeah.
So,
And then somebody gave me a book too that really changed everything for me. Like I was chilling with this guy who's one of my mentors, and he gave me this book, Think and Grow Rich, and I'm like, this can't help me.
Yeah.
And I went home
Yes,
and
it
started
can.
reading. I just fell into this world. I'm just like, yo, and it was so much knowledge. I probably read the book front to back, dozens of times. You feel what I'm saying? But every time I would like learn something new, and that intrigued me because it's just like, this is a book. I can't go sit down with one person and get this information.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So, and people ask me now what you read, and I'll be like, yo, start here, and then we'll go from there. But I know it's crazy because we used to talk, you see me in the club, iced out, run around crazy. Now we talking books. The ticket sitting there like,
it's amazing. I love it.
interesting.
No, because I think the average person doesn't think Jeezy reads.
Oh, yeah, man. Come on.
Jeezy, they don't think I read either.
I know
You
that's
don't
right.
read.
I have a book
I
too.
read-
I read my book.
One book.
This one line in this book: anxiety plagues Jenkins so severely that he thinks he's having withdrawal from cocaine.
Yeah. It happens.
Despite never having even tried the stuff.
Yeah.
That's amazing. A lot of people now deal with anxiety.
Yeah.
And it's like become to a point to where even the government has stepped in to even just give more funds to colleges to help people combat anxiety and mental illness and those struggles.
Yeah, no, it's real.
How have you been able to cope?
I mean, just learning about it, just tapping in. And, if you really think about it without getting too deep over the pandemic, that's why a lot of crazy stuff was happening. That's why people were acting out, because now you isolated and you got to deal with this stuff, right? So during the pandemic, I had to deal with it too.
Yes.
You feel what I'm saying? But even back then, if you're asking me, I was like Miss Pat here. I was hanging in some houses that I probably shouldn't have been in, and inhaling some fumes. And I actually called a drug hotline. Like, yo, I think I might be addicted
Did you ever
to
eat
crack.
it when the police ran up on you?
I did not.
He said he never tried it before.
I never tried it either, but I would be cutting to eat McDonald's.
Wow.
It messed up my top lip.
The biggest part about
I heard it's
this.
bad for your diet. So
I was a lot slimmer back then.
Jesus, I guess, new book, Adversity for Sale. You gotta believe in stores now. Check them out at Funk Fest this Saturday.
Yes, yes.
New music on the way. Do I got some more epic tunes in my forecast?
I'm just focused right
Focus
now.
on the book.
Focus on the book. Shout out to Haiti, baby. New CT artist out of Stockton, California, going up. And that's where my focus is right now, man.
It is. Good to see
Such
you,
a
bro.
good read, y'all.
love.
Y'all got to get this book. I mean, for me,
yes.
like I'm loving it. It's a great book. You got to get it. He's open. He's vulnerable. He's really transparent and sharing a lot in this book. So, Adversity for Sale.
Come on,
You
black
gotta
people, go
believe.
read.
That part. When we come back to 8 o'clock, morning motivation mixed with DJ Technology. Jeezy's in the house. Go see him
Yes,
at
sir.
Funk Fest and get this
Tell
book
you,
now.
This man smell good. I'm
tell-
sorry,
she
Jesus.
tell you if you
Rocking
didn't.
the money green.
I don't know what you wearing. I don't know if I can afford it, but just tell me so I can make my husband smell
Now
like
you
this
can't
tomorrow.
afford stuff?
All right.
Yeah,
Bye,
all right.
Patricia.
It's V103.
V103.